What's up, y'all? This your man Vince, and this is I Ride Share 2. And today we're going to talk about are there Uber and Lyft drivers that are cheating the system to make more money. I'm seeing a couple of news reports that were saying drivers, I think they were specifically targeting Uber drivers, but this can be applicable to Lyft drivers as well. But their reporting was Uber drivers turning off their app in a group type forum to raise up the surge pricing. So surge pricing has to do with demand. The less demand there is, the higher the surge pricing. So there was saying that there are groups of drivers that are getting together through social media to turn off their apps at the same time and in the same location to increase the surge pricing. Now this is already done to a certain degree because at events people talk about keep your app turned off until you see the surge starting to go up, and then you turn on your app to try to catch the highest surge pricing as you possibly can. So it goes on around events, but I think these reporters were trying to say that it happens outside of events as well. And if this is happening, then I say drivers should go for it. That's the one thing about Uber and Lyft is the flexibility. You can turn off and on your app when you want to. And if you want to do it in groups, then how can that be gaming the system? That's called trying to increase supply and demand. That's basic business right there. That's basic capitalism, increase supply and demand. I remember I went to a club one time. They were purposely keeping people out of the club. Actually, it was Stephon Marbury's. He got drafted to the NBA for the first time. I know I'm dating myself. A friend of mine, DJ Ace, shout out to DJ Ace, was DJing that party in New York and Brooklyn at the tennis club in Brooklyn. They were purposely keeping people out of that party to give it the impression that it was rocking on the inside. And when they finally let us in, there was nobody in there. You know, the line outside will make you believe that this party was jumping. It became jumping eventually, but they restricted access to increase demand. And that's just plain business, that's just plain capitalism. So if drivers are out there doing it, I think it's a good idea. I'm glad I heard about the story. And if it's not going on, or it's going on as far as in a minimum type of way, I think drivers need to increase it, get on social media, get in your area, and use this as a tool to make more money, because Uber and Lyft are not trying to pay you any more money, and they tend to side with riders a lot of times. There was a rider who I went maybe a block out of my way to try to see if I can go a quicker route. He complained that I went out of my, the distance was too far, and tried to make it seem like I was trying to game him. And they took $2 out of maybe a $5 fare, and Uber backed him. And I was like, now how cheap and petty? We're barely getting paid money now. Now this guy, just because I'm trying to get him to work quicker, is going to try to make it seem like I tried to drive this whole long way out of the way to get him to his destination, when it was only like the next block. I was like, well, let me see if the next, because the block I was on here in California, in the LA market where I'm driving, was like a parking lot. So I went to the next block, and it may have not been that much better, but most oftentimes you can get a person there more expediently if you don't stick to where the GPS is telling you to go, and maybe go maybe one of the side streets. So that's my opinion. Like this video, subscribe, and the next time I see y'all, peace.